Which artist painted the potato eaters? Vincent van Gogh. The Potato Eaters is an oil painting by Dutch artist Vincent van Gogh, completed in April 1885. It depicts a group of peasants eating potatoes, reflecting Van Gogh's early interest in depicting the harsh realities of rural life and manual labor. In architecture, what is a lancet? A window. In architecture, a lancet is a tall, narrow window with a pointed arch at its top, characteristic of early English Gothic architecture. These windows are often grouped together and are a defining feature of many medieval cathedrals and churches. Which country uses RA as its international vehicle registration code? Argentina. RA is the International Vehicle Registration Code for Argentina, standardized under the 1949 and 1968 Vienna Conventions on Road Traffic. These codes are displayed on vehicles when traveling outside their registered country to identify their origin. What is the capacity of a Methuselah bottle of wine, in standard bottles? 8 standard bottles. A Methuselah is an oversized wine bottle, typically used for champagne, that holds 6 liters, which is equivalent to 8 standard 750 milliliters bottles. These larger format bottles are often named after biblical figures and are known for aiding the aging process of wine due to less exposure to oxygen. What was the name of the first US communications satellite, launched in 1960? Echo 1. Echo 1 was a passive communications satellite launched by NASA on August 12, 1960. It was a large, inflatable sphere designed to reflect radio signals, demonstrating the feasibility of satellite communication and marking a significant milestone in early space technology. What is the subject of collection for a cartophilist? Cigarette cards. A cartophilist is an individual who collects cigarette cards, which are small cards issued by tobacco manufacturers to stiffen cigarette packs and later used for advertising and as collectible items. These cards often feature various subjects like sports, history, and nature, making them valuable cultural artifacts. Which major European city was historically known by its Roman name, Lutetia? Paris. Lutetia, or Lutetia Parisiorum, was the Roman town that later developed into the modern city of Paris, France. Founded by the Parisi tribe, it was conquered by the Romans in 52 BC and served as an important administrative and trading center in Gaul. What is the green pigment found in most plants that is responsible for absorbing light energy for photosynthesis? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the primary green pigment found in the chloroplasts of plant cells and algae. It plays a crucial role in photosynthesis by absorbing light energy, particularly in the red and blue parts of the electromagnetic spectrum, to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. By what other name are yeoman warders at the Tower of London commonly known? Beefeaters. Yeoman warders are ceremonial guardians of the Tower of London, a historic royal palace and fortress. They are colloquially known as beefeaters, a nickname believed to have originated from their historical entitlement to eat beef from the king's table. How many labors were performed by Hercules? 12. Hercules, a hero in Greek and Roman mythology, was tasked with performing 12 extraordinarily difficult labors as penance for killing his family. These tasks, set by King Eurystheus, included slaying mythical beasts and retrieving precious items, demonstrating his immense strength and divine favor. What date is Trafalgar Day? The 21st of October. Trafalgar Day commemorates the Battle of Trafalgar, fought on October 21, 1805. In this pivotal naval engagement, the British Royal Navy, under Admiral Lord Nelson, decisively defeated the combined fleets of France and Spain, securing British naval supremacy for over a century. What does E represent in E equals mc2? Energy. In Albert Einstein's famous mass-energy equivalence equation, E equals mc squared, E represents energy. This foundational principle of modern physics demonstrates that mass and energy are interchangeable and interconvertible, with m being mass and c the speed of light. Which English cathedral was destroyed by fire in 1666? St. Paul's Cathedral. Old St. Paul's Cathedral, a medieval Gothic structure, was extensively destroyed during the Great Fire of London in 1666. Its destruction led to the commissioning of Sir Christopher Wren to design the iconic Baroque St. Paul's Cathedral that stands today. Who shot and killed Billy the Kid in 1881? Pat Garrett. Billy the Kid, an infamous outlaw of the American Old West, was shot and killed by Sheriff Pat Garrett on July 14, 1881, in Fort Sumner, New Mexico Territory. Garrett, a former friend of the outlaw, had relentlessly pursued him after his escape from prison. In which year were luncheon vouchers introduced in the UK? 1955. Luncheon vouchers were first introduced in the UK in 1955. These were a form of non-taxable benefit provided by employers to employees to help cover meal costs, reflecting post-war social welfare policies. Who invented the revolver handgun? Samuel Colt. Samuel Colt is widely credited with inventing the modern revolver. His patent for a revolving breech-loading gun in 1836 significantly advanced firearms technology, making multi-shot pistols reliable and widespread. In which ocean is Ascension Island located? Atlantic Ocean. Ascension Island is an isolated volcanic island situated in the equatorial South Atlantic Ocean. It is a British overseas territory, part of St. Helena, Ascension and Tristan da Cunha. Who was the first English monarch to abdicate? Richard II. Richard II was the first English monarch to formally abdicate the throne in 1399. This event occurred under duress from Henry Bolingbroke, who subsequently became King Henry IV, marking a pivotal moment in English succession history. Who was the first British person to perform a spacewalk? Michael Foley. Michael Foley became the first British person to perform a spacewalk in 1995. A dual British-American citizen, he completed this during his mission on the Space Shuttle Discovery, STS-63, marking a significant achievement in British space exploration. The 2,228 meters high Mount Kosciuszko is the highest mainland mountain of which country? Australia. Mount Kosciuszko is the highest peak in mainland Australia, located in the snowy mountains of New South Wales. It is part of the Great Dividing Range and is a popular destination for hikers and skiers. Which European country ceased to be a monarchy in 1910? Portugal. Portugal transitioned from a monarchy to a republic on October 5, 1910, following a republican revolution. This event marked the end of the centuries-old Portuguese monarchy and the establishment of the First Portuguese Republic. Farringford House on the Isle of Wight was the home of which renowned poet? Alfred, Lord Tennyson. Farringford House served as the beloved home of Alfred, Lord Tennyson, one of the most prominent poets of the Victorian era. He lived there for nearly 40 years, from 1853 until his death, drawing inspiration from the Isle of Wight's landscape for much of his later work. Orzo is what type of foodstuff? Pasta. Orzo is a form of pasta shaped like a large grain of rice. It is commonly used in soups, salads, and as a side dish, particularly in Mediterranean cuisine. Tirana is the capital of which country? Albania. Tirana is the capital and largest city of Albania, serving as its economic, political, and cultural hub. The city is known for its vibrant architecture and its central location within the country. Polytetrafluoroethylene (PTFE) is better known by what DuPont brand name? Teflon. Polytetrafluoroethylene (PTFE) is a synthetic fluoropolymer, famously known by the DuPont brand name Teflon. It is widely used for its non-stick properties in cookware and for reducing friction in various applications due to its very low coefficient of friction. In which year did the ocean liner the QE2 make her maiden voyage? 1969. The Queen Elizabeth II, K2, was a celebrated British ocean liner, a flagship of the Cunard Line. She embarked on her maiden voyage in 1969, serving as a transatlantic passenger liner until her retirement in 2008, embodying an era of luxurious sea travel. The white sea-borne floating mineral, magnesium silicate, called meerschaum, used in making tobacco pipes, takes its name from the German meaning of what? Sea foam. Meerschaum is a soft, white mineral, specifically a hydrated magnesium silicate, prized for its use in tobacco pipes and decorative carvings. Its name is derived from German, meaning sea foam, a descriptor given due to its light weight and occasional discovery floating in the Black Sea. Who wrote the play The Winslow Boy? Terence Rattigan. The Winslow Boy is a renowned play written by British dramatist Terence Rattigan, first staged in 1946. Based on a true story, it explores themes of justice, family honor, and the individual's struggle against institutional power within the early 20th century British legal system. What primarily causes an ice skate to melt ice, creating lubricated contact helpful for skating? Pressure. The primary mechanism allowing ice skates to glide smoothly is pressure melting. The narrow blade of the skate exerts immense pressure on the ice, which lowers its melting point, creating a thin, temporary layer of water that acts as a lubricant. Which British artist painted the pond? L. S. Lowry. L. S. Lowry was a prominent English artist, famed for his distinctive portrayals of industrial landscapes and working-class life in the northwest of England. While The Pond is one of his many works, his art often features stark urban scenes, mills, and his characteristic matchstick men figures. Cuirassiers were medieval armor worn to protect which part of the body? Thigh. Cuirassiers were a crucial component of medieval plate armor, specifically designed to protect the thighs of a knight or soldier. These pieces were typically articulated to allow for movement and were essential for full leg protection in combat. The Battle of Antietam was fought during which war? American Civil War. The Battle of Antietam, fought on September 17, 1862, near Sharpsburg, Maryland, was a pivotal engagement of the American Civil War. It holds the grim distinction of being the bloodiest single-day battle in American military history, with over 23,000 casualties. What is produced in the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas? Hormones. The islets of Langerhans are specialized clusters of endocrine cells located within the pancreas. These islets are responsible for producing and secreting vital hormones, most notably insulin and glucagon, which play crucial roles in regulating blood glucose levels. Which country's old name is Commute, meaning black land, a reference to the fertile soil of its vast floodplains? Egypt. Commute, meaning black land, was the ancient name for Egypt, referring to the fertile black soil deposited by the Nile River's annual floods. This rich soil was crucial for agriculture, supporting the development of one of the world's earliest major civilizations. In an electrical circuit diagram, what is denoted by a circle containing the capital letter A? Ammeter. In electrical circuit diagrams, a circle containing the capital letter A is the standard symbol for an ammeter. An ammeter is an instrument used to measure the electric current in a circuit and must be connected in series with the component through which the current is to be measured. What is the largest rough gem quality diamond ever found? The Cullinan diamond. The Cullinan diamond is the largest gem-quality rough diamond ever found, discovered in 1905 in the Premier No. 2 mine in Cullinan, South Africa. Weighing 3,106.75 carats, it was later cut into several large polished diamonds, with the two largest forming part of the British crown jewels. William Makepeace Thackeray's 1847 novel Vanity Fair, a satire of early 1800s British society, has the extended title, A Novel Without a What? Hero. William Makepeace Thackeray's renowned 1847 novel, Vanity Fair, is famously subtitled, A Novel Without a Hero. This subtitle reflects Thackeray's intention to critique the moral ambiguities and societal pretensions of early 19th century British society, presenting characters who are flawed and complex rather than idealized protagonists. Name the Danish maritime explorer who served with the Russian fleet and gave his name to a strait, a sea, an island, a glacier and land bridge. Vitus Bering. Vitus Bering was a Danish explorer who served in the Russian Navy and is renowned for his expeditions in the service of Russia. He is credited with exploring the area around the Bering Strait, the Bering Sea, and Bering Island, all of which bear his name, contributing significantly to European knowledge of the North Pacific and the region separating Asia and North America. The suspension of which requirement was cited as the cause of a surge in UK houses coming to market after the 2010 general election? HIPs. HIPs, Home Information Packs, were introduced in England and Wales to provide home buyers with upfront information. Their suspension in 2010, following a change in government, was intended to stimulate the housing market by reducing the costs and bureaucracy associated with selling a property, leading to an increase in available houses. What car company faced major problems over sticking accelerator fault in 2010? Toyota. In 2009-2010, Toyota faced a massive recall of millions of vehicles worldwide due to issues with unintended acceleration, primarily linked to sticking accelerator pedals and flow mat interference. This crisis significantly damaged the company's reputation and led to extensive investigations and fines. In chemistry and physics, volatility is the tendency of a substance to what? Vaporize. Volatility in chemistry and physics describes a substance's tendency to vaporize, or turn into a gas. Highly volatile substances have a high vapor pressure at a given temperature, meaning they evaporate readily even at room temperature, like alcohol or ether. Sir Joseph Paxton designed which notable 1851 Hyde Park building, relocated in 1854, where its name persists since accidental destruction in 1936? The Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace was a massive cast iron and plate glass structure originally built in Hyde Park, London, to house the Great Exhibition of 1851. Designed by Sir Joseph Paxton, it was a marvel of Victorian engineering and architecture, later relocated to Sydenham Hill in 1854 where it stood until its destruction by fire in 1936. In March 2010, which country passed a law banning all strip clubs and made it illegal for any business to profit from the nudity of employees such as topless waitresses? Iceland. In March 2010, Iceland enacted a controversial law effectively banning strip clubs and making it illegal for any business to profit from the nudity of employees. This legislation was widely seen as a feminist move to combat human trafficking and exploitation, gaining significant international attention at the time. What is the process by which an insect undergoes distinct physical change from immaturity, typically larva or nymph, to adulthood? Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a profound biological process in many animals, particularly insects and amphibians, where an organism undergoes dramatic physical transformations from an immature form, like a larva or nymph, to an adult. This process often involves distinct stages such as egg, larva, pupa, and adult, completely altering the organism's morphology, habitat, and diet. Which castle is sometimes referred to as the key to England? Dover Castle. Dover Castle, located in Kent, England, is often called the key to England, due to its strategic defensive position overlooking the narrowest part of the English Channel. Throughout history, it has played a crucial role in the defense of Britain, serving as a fortress, a medieval palace, and a vital command center during both World Wars. The city of Lisbon in Portugal lies on which river? The Tagus. Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal, is strategically located on the northern bank of the Tagus River, Rio Tejo, which is the longest river in the Iberian Peninsula. Its estuary provides a large natural harbor, historically crucial for trade, exploration, and the city's development as a major maritime power. Spaniard Juan Antonio Samaranch, who died in April 2010, was head of which organization from 1980 to 2001? The IOC. Juan Antonio Samaranch was a Spanish sports administrator who served as the seventh president of the International Olympic Committee, IOC, from 1980 to 2001. During his tenure, the Olympic movement underwent significant transformations, including increased commercialization and professionalization. What chemical element symbol derives from the Latin word aurum, meaning shining dawn? Gold. The chemical symbol for gold, O, is derived from its Latin name, aurum. Aurum literally means shining dawn, or glowing substance, reflecting the metal's lustrous appearance and historical value. A handwritten transcript of a coroner's inquest in 1881 that was rediscovered in Bisbee, Arizona, USA in 2010, revealed additional notes about what dramatic incident? Gunfight at the OK Corral. The gunfight at the OK Corral was a legendary 30-second shootout between lawmen and a group of cowboys that occurred on October 26, 1881, in Tombstone, Arizona Territory. It remains one of the most famous events of the American Wild West, frequently depicted in popular culture. Derived from the Greek word meaning perimeter, what is the text form of the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet? Pi. The mathematical constant pi, represents the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, approximately 3.14159. The symbol pi is the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet, and the word perimeter itself derives from Greek, signifying to measure around. What Portuguese island suffered severe storm floods in February 2010? Madeira. Madeira is a Portuguese archipelago located in the North Atlantic Ocean. In February 2010, the island experienced devastating storm floods and mudslides, leading to significant loss of life and widespread destruction, highlighting the vulnerability of island ecosystems to extreme weather events. The structural integrity of the Howrah Bridge in Kolkata, Calcutta, India, which daily carries 60,000 vehicles and 50,000 pedestrians, was reported, 2010, to be under corrosive attack from what? Human spitting. The Howrah Bridge, an iconic cantilever bridge over the Hooghly River in West Bengal, India, faced structural degradation due to corrosion from human spitting. The highly acidic compounds in saliva, especially from chewing pan, contribute significantly to the erosion of its steel structure, posing a unique challenge to infrastructure maintenance. Diastema is the medical term for the gap between what in the human body? Two teeth. Diastema refers to a space or gap between two teeth, most commonly observed between the two front incisors, maxillary central incisors. While often considered a cosmetic concern, it can sometimes be a sign of underlying dental or orthodontic issues. What place name derives from the 12th and last of the Eleanor Crosses, erected 1291 to 1294 by Edward I in memory of his wife Eleanor of Castile? Charing Cross. Charing Cross is a major junction in London, England, and is historically significant as the site of the last of the 12 Eleanor Crosses. These ornate crosses were erected by King Edward I between 1291 and 1294 to mark the overnight resting places of his wife, Eleanor of Castile's, funeral procession from Harby to Westminster Abbey. Who became Baron of Kington upon Hull when joining the House of Lords in July 2010? John Prescott. John Prescott was a prominent British Labour politician who served as Deputy Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007. Upon his retirement from the House of Commons, he was elevated to the House of Lords as Baron Prescott of Kingston upon Hull in July 2010, becoming a life peer and continuing his contributions to public service. Name Charles Dickens' first novel, featuring the characters Nathaniel Winkle, Augustus Snodgrass and the Fat Boy, Joe? Pickwick Papers. Charles Dickens' first novel, The Pickwick Papers, was serialized between 1836 and 1837. This work established Dickens' characteristic satirical style and introduced many memorable characters, marking a significant beginning in his prolific literary career. Sir Edmund Barton became the first Prime Minister of which country in 1901? Australia. Sir Edmund Barton served as the first Prime Minister of Australia from 1901 to 1903. His appointment followed the federation of the 6 Australian colonies into the Commonwealth of Australia on January 1, 1901, and he played a crucial role in drafting the Australian Constitution. Photophobia is extreme sensitivity to, or fear of, what? Light. Photophobia is a symptom characterized by an abnormal intolerance to visual perception of light. It is not a disease itself but can be a symptom of various medical conditions, including migraine headaches, eye inflammation, or certain neurological disorders. Ibiza is in which Mediterranean island group? Balearic Islands. Ibiza is one of the Balearic Islands, an archipelago located in the western Mediterranean Sea off the eastern coast of Spain. The Balearic Islands are an autonomous community of Spain, known for their distinct culture and popular tourist destinations. In medicine, carditis is the inflammation of which organ of the human body? Heart. Carditis refers to the inflammation of the heart, which can affect different parts of the organ, such as the pericardium, pericarditis, myocardium, myocarditis, or endocardium, endocarditis. This condition can be caused by infections, autoimmune diseases, or other systemic inflammatory processes. What is the capital of Haiti? Port-au-Prince. Haiti is a Caribbean country, and Port-au-Prince serves as its capital and largest city. It is a major port and economic center, located on the Gulf of Gonave. The lakes Van, Taz, Uluabat, and Besahir are among the largest in which country? Turkey. These lakes, including Lake Van, the largest lake in Turkey and the second largest in the Middle East, are significant geographical features located within Turkey. Turkey's diverse geography includes numerous lakes, both freshwater and saline. Which phobia is colloquially associated with the disease rabies? Hydrophobia. Hydrophobia, meaning fear of water, is a classic symptom of advanced rabies due to painful spasms in the throat when attempting to swallow. The rabies virus, primarily transmitted through the saliva of infected animals, affects the central nervous system. Which region and river in the north of South America, now part of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, gave its name to a sweetener produced from local crops? Demerara. Demerara refers to both a historical region and a river in Guyana, in the north of South America. Demerara sugar, a partially refined brown sugar with a distinctive amber color and slight molasses flavor, originated from this region where it was initially cultivated. In the Bible, who was the sister of Mary and Lazarus? Martha. Martha, along with her siblings Mary and Lazarus, is a significant figure in the New Testament of the Bible. She is known for her hospitality towards Jesus and her profound statement of faith in him as the Messiah. Inferno, Paradiso and Purgatorio are sections of which epic poem by Italian Dante Alighieri? The Divine Comedy. The Divine Comedy is an epic poem by Dante Alighieri, widely considered a masterpiece of world literature and a foundational work of Western culture. It is divided into three parts: Inferno, Hell; Purgatorio, Purgatory; and Paradiso, Paradise, detailing Dante's allegorical journey through the afterlife. What naturally occurring common substance containing lactose may scientifically be described as an emulsion of butterfat globules within a water-based fluid? Milk. Milk is a nutrient-rich fluid produced by mammals, scientifically described as an emulsion. It primarily consists of butterfat globules dispersed in an aqueous solution containing proteins, like casein, lactose, milk sugar, vitamins, and minerals, making it a complete food source. The conscious competence learning model is commonly represented by what four-stage process, upwards, from low to high, based on this word pair combination and its opposites. Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence. The conscious competence learning model outlines four stages of progression in skill acquisition or understanding. It describes the psychological states involved in moving from an initial lack of awareness and skill to effortless mastery. What are neat, kind, and beeves old collective words for? Cattle. Neat, kind, and beeves are archaic terms used to refer to cattle. Kind is an old plural form of cow, while beeves is an old plural of beef, specifically referring to oxen or cattle as livestock. Neat also served as a collective noun for cattle in older English. Ehud Barak succeeded Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister of which country in 1999? Israel. Ehud Barak, a former Chief of Staff of the Israel Defense Forces, served as Prime Minister of Israel from 1999 to 2001. He succeeded Benjamin Netanyahu following the 1999 general election, leading the One Israel Party. What acid occurs naturally in bee and ant venom? Formic acid. Formic acid, also known as methanoic acid, is the simplest carboxylic acid. It is naturally present in the venom of ants and bees, and is responsible for the painful sensation caused by their stings. What does wiki mean in Hawaiian? Quick. The term wiki originates from the Hawaiian word wiki, which translates to quick or fast. This term gained global recognition due to its use in Wikipedia, an online encyclopedia designed for quick creation and editing of content. International telephone dialing codes for Africa generally begin with what number? 2. International telephone dialing codes are regulated by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Countries within the African continent typically fall under Zone 2, meaning their country codes generally commence with the digit 2, such as +20 for Egypt or +27 for South Africa. What word for a monstrously large creature or organization derives from the original Egyptian meaning of water ox, and more specifically, probably the hippopotamus? Behemoth. The word behemoth originates from the Hebrew Bible, where it describes a large, powerful creature. While its exact etymology is debated, it is often linked to an Egyptian word meaning water ox or hippopotamus, symbolizing something monstrously large or powerful. Which UK government ex-minister referred to himself as a cab for hire when secretly filmed attempting to sell his capability to influence government policy? Stephen Byers. Stephen Byers, a former UK Secretary of State for Transport, was involved in a 2010 lobbying scandal. He was secretly filmed claiming he could operate as a cab for hire to influence government policy, which led to a parliamentary investigation into lobbying practices. Oxford boat race squad twins Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss became multimillionaires after a court battle with what website that they claim stole their idea? Facebook. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss famously sued Mark Zuckerberg, alleging he stole their concept for a social networking site, which subsequently evolved into Facebook. They settled the lawsuit in 2008, receiving a substantial financial settlement and shares in the company. In which country did a military coup overthrow President Juan Perón in 1955? Argentina. Juan Perón's second presidency in Argentina was ended by the Revolución Libertadora, a military and civilian uprising, in September 1955. This event marked a significant turning point in Argentine political history, leading to a period of military rule and instability. What number is a hurricane force storm on the conventional Beaufort wind force scale? 12. The Beaufort wind force scale is an empirical measure that relates wind speed to observed conditions at sea or on land. A hurricane force storm corresponds to force 12, indicating winds exceeding 64 knots, 74 miles per hour or 118 kilometers per hour. This scale is widely used in meteorology and maritime operations. What is the vivid blue semi-precious stone, historically mined in Afghanistan's Badakhshan province and prized by the ancient Egyptians, Mesopotamians, Greeks, and Romans? Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a deep blue metamorphic rock valued since antiquity for its intense color. It was historically sourced primarily from mines in the Badakhshan province of Afghanistan and used extensively for jewelry, ornaments, and pigment by ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Mesopotamians. A Bible bump is an old colloquial term for what medical condition? A ganglion cyst. A ganglion cyst is a non-cancerous lump that commonly develops along the tendons or joints of wrists and hands. Historically, a heavy book like a Bible was sometimes used to forcefully rupture the cyst, leading to the colloquial term, Bible bump, or Bible cyst. Elizabeth Angela Marguerite Bowes-Lyon, 1900 to 2002, was more commonly known as whom? The Queen Mother. Elizabeth Angela Marguerite Bowes-Lyon was the wife of King George VI and the mother of Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Margaret. Following her husband's death in 1952, she was known as Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother until her own death in 2002, becoming a widely beloved public figure. What element, whose symbol derives from its Greek name hydragyrum, meaning watery silver, melts at -38.83 degrees Celsius and yet boils at 356.73 degrees Celsius? Mercury. Mercury, Hg, is a unique heavy, silvery white liquid metal, known for being the only metallic element that is liquid at standard temperature and pressure. Its high boiling point and low melting point, along with its Greek name, hydragyrum, watery silver, highlight its distinctive physical properties and historical significance in various applications. If under consistently fair conditions, a tossed coin lands heads upwards twice in succession, what are the strict theoretical mathematical chances that the next toss will land tails upwards? 1 in 2. This question illustrates the fundamental concept of independent events in probability. Each coin toss is an independent event, meaning the outcome of previous tosses has no influence on the outcome of the next toss. For a fair coin, the probability of landing heads or tails on any given toss remains 1/2 or 1 in 2. What colorless, odorless liquid, identified by E number E422, is used in foods as a sweetener, thickener, and humectant to maintain moistness? Glycerol. Glycerol, also known as glycerine, is a simple polyol compound. It is widely employed in the food industry for its properties as a humectant, retaining moisture, solvent, and sweetener. Its E number, E422, signifies its regulatory approval as a food additive within the European Union. The Galapagos Islands lie in which major body of water? Pacific Ocean. The Galapagos Islands constitute an archipelago of volcanic islands situated on either side of the equator in the Pacific Ocean. These islands are renowned for their exceptional and unique biodiversity, which significantly influenced Charles Darwin's development of the theory of evolution by natural selection. The Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela is located in which country? Spain. The Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela is a prominent Roman Catholic cathedral found in Galicia, Spain. It is traditionally considered the burial site of Saint James the Great, an apostle of Jesus Christ, and has served as a pivotal pilgrimage destination, known as the Camino de Santiago, since the Middle Ages. What is the term for a small lift used to transport food and other goods between floors in a building? Dumbwaiter. A dumbwaiter is a compact freight elevator specifically designed for the vertical transportation of objects rather than people within a building. They are commonly installed in establishments such as restaurants, hotels, hospitals, and private residences, primarily for moving items like food, dishes, or laundry. In 1981, UK politicians David Owen, Shirley Williams, Roy Jenkins, and Bill Rogers, collectively known as the Gang of Four, defected from the Labour Party to establish which new political party? Social Democratic Party. In a significant realignment of British politics in 1981, four prominent Labour politicians, David Owen, Shirley Williams, Roy Jenkins, and Bill Rogers, departed from the party to found the Social Democratic Party, SDP. This event, often referred to as the Gang of Four, split, represented a major challenge to the established two-party political landscape of the United Kingdom. What is the primary stock market index of Hong Kong? Hang Seng Index. The Hang Seng Index, HSI, is a free float adjusted, market capitalization weighted stock market index for Hong Kong. It serves as a crucial benchmark, tracking and monitoring the daily performance of the largest and most liquid companies listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, thereby reflecting the overall health of the region's equity market. What substance traditionally comprises potassium nitrate, charcoal, and sulfur? Gunpowder. Gunpowder, also known as black powder, is the earliest known chemical explosive. Its traditional composition includes potassium nitrate, saltpeter, as an oxidizer, charcoal as fuel, and sulfur as a stabilizer and additional fuel. This mixture was historically crucial in weaponry and mining. How many items are in a heptad? 7. The term, heptad, refers to a group or set of 7, derived from the Greek prefix, hepta, meaning 7. This is consistent with other numerical prefixes like monad, 1, dyad, 2, or triad, 3. A narthex is a component of which type of building? Church. A narthex is an architectural element of early Christian and Byzantine basilicas and churches, typically an entrance or antechamber at the western end of the nave. It historically served as a space for penitents and catechumens before they could enter the main body of the church. What is the corolla of a flower commonly known as? Petals. In botany, the corolla refers to the collective term for all the petals of a flower. Petals are modified leaves that often display vibrant colors and emit fragrances to attract pollinators, playing a crucial role in plant reproduction. Which refugee camp was located near Calais, close to the French side of the Channel Tunnel? Sangatte. The Sangatte refugee camp was a significant center near Calais, France, active from 1999 to 2002. It housed migrants and asylum seekers attempting to reach the United Kingdom via the Channel Tunnel, highlighting the complex issues of migration and border control in Europe. What fraction of a second does a nanosecond equate to? Billionth. A nanosecond, ns, is a unit of time equal to 1 billionth, 10 to the power of -9, of a second. This incredibly small unit is frequently used in fields like physics, electronics, and telecommunications to measure extremely fast processes, such as the speed of light or processor clock cycles. If an atom was scaled to the size of a football pitch, what would its nucleus approximate in size? A football. This analogy illustrates the vast emptiness within an atom. The nucleus, containing most of the atom's mass, is incredibly dense and tiny compared to the overall electron cloud. If an atom were expanded to the size of a football pitch, its nucleus would still only be the size of a football, emphasizing this immense scale difference. Who authored the poem, Jabberwocky, which first appeared in one of his novels? Lewis Carroll. Jabberwocky is a renowned nonsense poem by Lewis Carroll, featured in his 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass, and What Alice Found There. It is famous for its creative use of portmanteau words and its imaginative, often whimsical, narrative. In July 2010, Amazon announced that its quarterly volume sales of digital books, e-books, had surpassed the sales of which traditional format in the US for the first time? Hardback books. This event in July 2010 marked a significant milestone in the digital transformation of the publishing industry. It indicated the increasing adoption of e-readers and digital content, fundamentally altering consumer preferences and the economic landscape for booksellers. A filter, or filter, is traditionally defined as a potion intended to induce what specific emotion or state? La. A filter is a magical potion believed to have the power to arouse love or sexual desire. This term often appears in ancient folklore, mythology, and literature, where such concoctions play a role in romantic plots or magical enchantments. Which ceramic material derives its name from the Italian phrase for baked earth? Terracotta. Terracotta is a type of unglazed, often brownish red, ceramic material made from porous clay, frequently used for sculptures, pottery, and building decoration. Its name accurately reflects its origin and manufacturing process, where natural clay is baked to harden it. On which major river is the Canadian city of Montreal located? St. Lawrence River. Montreal is situated on an island in the St. Lawrence River, a significant waterway in North America connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. The river has played a crucial role in the city's development as a major port and economic hub. Who is Laura Chinchilla? Costa Rica's first female president. Laura Chinchilla served as the president of Costa Rica from 2010 to 2014, making her the first woman to hold that office in the country's history. Her presidency marked a significant milestone for gender equality in Central American politics. Israel Zangwill authored the 1892 novel, Children of The, which vividly depicted Jewish life in London. Complete the title. Ghetto. Israel Zangwill's novel, Children of the Ghetto, is a seminal work in Anglo-Jewish literature, offering a detailed and sympathetic portrayal of the lives of Jewish immigrants in London's East End during the late 19th century. The novel explores themes of tradition, modernity, and the immigrant experience. Who succeeded John Major as leader of the UK Conservative Party in 1997? William Hague. After the Conservative Party's significant defeat in the 1997 general election, John Major resigned as leader. William Hague was subsequently elected as his successor, leading the party into opposition and serving until 2001. The Aswan Dam, which enables controlled use of the Nile floodplain for agriculture, is in which African country? Egypt. The Aswan Dam is a monumental engineering project on the Nile River in Egypt. It plays a crucial role in controlling the river's annual flooding, providing irrigation for vast agricultural lands, and generating hydroelectric power, thereby supporting Egypt's economy and population. The name of what ethnic celebration derives from the Aramaic and Hebrew words respectively for son and commandment? Bar Mitzvah. Bar Mitzvah is a significant coming-of-age ceremony in Judaism for boys, typically celebrated at age 13. The term translates to son of commandment, signifying that the boy is now considered an adult under Jewish law and responsible for observing its mitzvot, commandments. The alpine ski resort of St. Moritz is in which country? Switzerland. St. Moritz is an internationally renowned luxury alpine resort town located in the Engadin Valley in Switzerland. Known for its winter sports, high-altitude climate, and exclusive tourism, it has hosted the Winter Olympics twice. In Greek mythology, what did Prometheus steal from Zeus and give to mankind? Fire. In ancient Greek mythology, Prometheus, a titan, defied Zeus by stealing fire from Mount Olympus and bestowing it upon humanity. This act symbolized civilization and human progress but led to his eternal punishment by Zeus. What is the public declaration, usually in a church, of an intended marriage? The banns. The banns of marriage, or simply, the banns, refer to the public announcement of an upcoming marriage, traditionally read in a church or registry office for a specified period. This practice allows for any legitimate objections to the union to be raised before the ceremony proceeds. What is the reciprocal of 1 2/3? In other words, what fraction when multiplied by 1 2/3 produces 1? 3/5. To find the reciprocal of 1 2/3, first convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. 1 2/3 equals 5/3. The reciprocal of any non-zero number is 1 divided by that number, or simply flipping the fraction, yielding 3/5. Which day of the week is named after the Norse god of thunder? Thursday. Thursday is derived from Thor's day, named after Thor, the Norse god of thunder, lightning, storms, and strength. This linguistic tradition reflects the influence of Germanic mythology on the English language and its calendar system. Which of these countries was not a NATO member as of 2010? Sweden. As of 2010, Sweden maintained a policy of military non-alignment and was not a member of NATO. However, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Sweden officially became the 32nd member of NATO on March 7, 2024. Who was the first English writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907? Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907, becoming the first English-language writer to receive this prestigious honor. He was recognized for his powers of observation, originality of imagination, and virility of ideas, evident in works like The Jungle Book and Kim. What is the Russian term for an astronaut? Cosmonaut. The term, cosmonaut, is used by Russia and other former Soviet bloc countries to refer to individuals trained for spaceflight. It derives from the Greek words, cosmos, universe, and, nautis, sailor, differentiating it from the American term, astronaut, star sailor. Which group of countries features national flags with a cross design, known as the Nordic cross, where the vertical bar is offset towards the hoist side, and includes the world's oldest continuously used national flag? Scandinavia, Nordic countries. The Nordic cross is a flag design characteristic of the Nordic countries, including Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. The Danish flag, Dannebrog, is often cited as the oldest continuously used national flag, dating back to the 13th century, and inspired the design of other Nordic flags. Which palace serves as the official London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury? Lambeth Palace. Lambeth Palace is the official London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, who is the principal leader of the Church of England and the symbolic head of the worldwide Anglican Communion. This historic palace has served as the London home of the Archbishop since the 13th century. A tercentenary marks an anniversary of how many years? 300. A tercentenary marks the 300th anniversary of an event. Similarly, a bicentenary denotes 200 years, and a sesquicentennial refers to 150 years, commonly encountered in historical celebrations and commemorations. What is the name of a Spanish dance, also associated with a short jacket worn open at the front? Bolero. The bolero is a traditional Spanish dance characterized by a moderate tempo and triple meter, often accompanied by castanets. The term also refers to a short jacket, typically worn open at the front, which became popular in the 19th century and is often associated with the dance or Spanish fashion. The prefix, helio, relates to which celestial body? The Sun. The prefix, helio, originates from the Greek word, helios, meaning, sun. It is commonly used in scientific terms such as, heliocentric, sun-centered, and, heliosphere, the region of space dominated by the sun's magnetic field and solar wind. Name the Big Five traits represented by the Ocean Personality Analysis Model. Openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. The Big Five personality traits, often remembered by the acronym OCEAN, are a widely accepted model in psychology describing 5 broad dimensions of personality. These traits provide a comprehensive framework for understanding individual differences in behavior, emotion, and thought patterns. Which country's energy consumption surpassed that of the USA in 2010 to become the world's biggest consumer of power, from oil, coal, water, wind, etc.? China. China surpassed the USA in 2010 to become the world's largest consumer of energy, driven by its rapid economic growth and industrialization. This significant shift highlights China's increasing global influence and its massive demand across various energy sources, impacting global energy markets and environmental concerns. What is the name of the small hammer with a circular rubber head used by doctors to test body reflexes, particularly at the knee? Plexaw. A plexaw, more commonly known as a reflex hammer, is a diagnostic tool used by medical professionals to test the deep tendon reflexes of the central and peripheral nervous systems. Tapping specific tendons, such as the patellar tendon below the knee, elicits a reflex response that helps assess neurological function. In what year was England ruled, technically, by kings named Edward, Harold, Edgar, and William, in that specific order? 1066. The year 1066 is a pivotal date in English history, famously marked by the Norman conquest. Following the death of Edward the Confessor and the brief reign of Harold Godwinson, William the Conqueror invaded and defeated the English at the Battle of Hastings, ushering in Norman rule. Ligneous relates to which natural substance? Wood. The term, ligneous, is derived from the Latin word, lignum, meaning, wood. It is used to describe plants or plant parts that are woody in nature, characterized by the presence of lignin, a complex polymer that provides rigidity and strength to plant cell walls. The autobiographical poem, The Story of Suicide Sal, was written by which 1930s female outlaw? Bonnie Parker. The Story of Suicide Sal is an autobiographical poem written by Bonnie Parker, a notorious American outlaw who, along with Clyde Barrow, gained fame during the Great Depression era. Her writings, often found by law enforcement, provided a glimpse into her life and motivations, contributing to the romanticized image of the Bonnie and Clyde gang. Who served as the United States Secretary of State from 1973 to 1977? Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger was a prominent American diplomat and political scientist who served as Secretary of State during the Nixon and Ford administrations. His tenure was marked by significant foreign policy initiatives, including détente with the Soviet Union, opening relations with China, and negotiations to end the Vietnam War, for which he received the Nobel Peace Prize. Which country is associated with the Straits Times newspaper, established in 1845 during British colonial rule, and its namesake stock market index, STI? Singapore. The Straits Times, founded in 1845, is Singapore's oldest and most widely circulated English-language newspaper, originating during the island nation's British colonial era. The Straits Times Index, STI, is a key benchmark for the Singapore Exchange, reflecting the performance of the top 30 companies listed. What word, referring to a type of protective helmet, a part of citrus fruit, and originally the stem marrow of plants, now metaphorically signifies the essential core of a subject or argument? Pith. Peat fundamentally denotes the soft, spongy tissue found in the stems of certain plants and the white, spongy layer beneath the rind of citrus fruits. Figuratively, it has evolved to represent the central, essential, or most important part of something, such as an argument or a topic. In which city was the historic Paddy's Market, associated with early 19th century Irish immigrants and closed in May 2009, located? Glasgow. Paddy's Market was a renowned historic market in Glasgow, Scotland, believed to have been established by or named after Irish immigrants in the early 1800s. Although it ceased operations in 2009, it represented a significant cultural and commercial landmark in the city's history. On which English island did the Irish missionary Saint Aidan found a monastery in 635 AD? Lindisfarne. Saint Aidan, an Irish monk, founded a monastery on Lindisfarne Island in 635 AD at the invitation of King Oswald of Northumbria. This monastic settlement became a vital center for the spread of Celtic Christianity in Anglo-Saxon England, playing a crucial role in the region's religious and cultural development. Triops cancriformis, discovered in Scotland in July 2010 and identified by scientists as possessing the oldest pedigree, over 200 million years, among living animals, is what type of creature? Shrimp. Triops cancriformis, often called the tadpole shrimp, is a freshwater crustacean discovered in Scotland with an evolutionary lineage spanning over 200 million years. This remarkable, living fossil, is considered one of the oldest extant animal species on Earth, providing significant insights into ancient biodiversity and adaptation. What name was given by activists to the green of London's Parliament Square during 2010, when sporadic protests developed into a large camp community? Democracy Village. In 2010, Parliament Square in London became known as Democracy Village, when a large protest camp was established by activists. The protests, initially focused on issues like austerity, highlighted public engagement and civil disobedience at a significant political landmark. In which secure London building was Hitler's deputy Rudolf Hess briefly imprisoned in May 1941 after he fled Germany to Scotland? The Tower of London. Rudolf Hess, Hitler's deputy, was briefly imprisoned in the Tower of London in May 1941 after his mysterious flight to Scotland. His capture in the UK was a major event during World War II, and his imprisonment in the historic tower underscores its long history as a high-security prison for notable figures. What is the method of dyeing fabric in which the parts not to be dyed are covered with removable wax? Batik. Batik is an ancient art form and a method of dyeing fabric where patterns are created by applying wax to areas that resist dye. Originating in Indonesia, this technique allows for intricate designs in vibrant colors, and is recognized as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. The inactive volcano, Mauna Kea, meaning White Mountain in the local native language, is in which US state? Hawaii. Mauna Kea is an inactive volcano located on the island of Hawaii, making it the highest point in the state. Its summit, often snow-capped, hosts a world-renowned astronomical observatory due to its high altitude, clear skies, and minimal light pollution. Who composed the music for the opera Porgy and Bess, about 1920s African-American life in Charleston, South Carolina? George Gershwin. George Gershwin composed the music for the iconic opera, Porgy and Bess, which depicts African-American life in Charleston, South Carolina, during the 1920s. First performed in 1935, it blended classical opera with jazz and folk elements, becoming a landmark in American musical theater. The mineral and ore pitch blend is rich in what radioactive element, after which it is now named? Uranium. Pitch blend, a mineral and ore, is notably rich in the radioactive element uranium. Its historical significance lies in being the primary source from which Marie and Pierre Curie isolated radium, and it remains a crucial ore for nuclear energy. On which item of dress would a cockade normally be worn? Hat. A cockade is a knot of ribbons or other circular-shaped ornament, typically worn on a hat. Historically, cockades served as badges of allegiance or markers of a military unit or political faction, notably during the French Revolution. What was an early type of photograph known as a daguerreotype? Photograph. The daguerreotype, invented by Louis Daguerre in 1839, was the first commercially successful photographic process. It produced a unique, direct positive image on a highly polished silver surface, revolutionizing visual art and documentation. Canute the Great, who ruled Denmark, England, Norway and parts of Sweden from 1018 to 35, is commonly known by what other name, particularly relating to a story of attempting to rule the sea? King Canute. Canute the Great, an influential Viking king, established a vast North Sea empire in the 11th century. He is famously known as King Canute and for the legendary story where he demonstrated the limitations of royal power by commanding the incoming tide, illustrating his humility. On which island was Nelson Mandela incarcerated for 27 years, from 1962 to 90? Robben Island. Nelson Mandela, a pivotal figure in the anti-apartheid movement, spent 18 of his 27 years of imprisonment on Robben Island, off the coast of Cape Town, South Africa. This prison became a powerful international symbol of the struggle against racial segregation and human rights abuses. In which European country are the Altamira cave paintings located? Spain. The Altamira cave, situated in Cantabria, Spain, is renowned for its magnificent Upper Paleolithic cave art, particularly its polychrome paintings of bison. Often called the Sistine Chapel of Paleolithic art, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, showcasing some of the earliest sophisticated artistic expressions by humankind. In 1994, the USA lifted a 19-year trade ban for which country? Vietnam. In 1994, the United States lifted its long-standing trade embargo against Vietnam, which had been imposed after the Vietnam War. This significant diplomatic move normalized economic relations between the two nations, opening avenues for trade and investment. In which ocean is the island of Madeira? Atlantic. Madeira is an autonomous region of Portugal, located in the North Atlantic Ocean. It is a popular tourist destination known for its unique ecosystem and volcanic landscapes. Who is generally considered to have invented the first electric battery cell in 1800? Alessandro Volta. Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist, invented the voltaic pile in 1800, which was the first true electric battery. This invention provided a continuous source of electric current, paving the way for further discoveries in electromagnetism. What Japanese expression derives from two colloquial Japanese words meaning belly cutting? Harakiri. Harakiri, also known as seppuku, is a form of ritual suicide by disembowelment with a sword. It was practiced by samurai in feudal Japan to restore honor or to avoid capture and torture. In which country was escapologist Harry Houdini born? Hungary. Harry Houdini, born Eric Weisz, was a renowned illusionist and escapologist, famous for his death-defying acts. He was born in Budapest, Hungary, before his family emigrated to the United States. Put these UK police ranks in order, lowest to highest. Detective Constable, Sergeant, Chief Inspector, Superintendent, Chief Constable. Understanding hierarchical structures in uniformed services is essential for general administrative knowledge. These ranks demonstrate increasing levels of responsibility and authority within the United Kingdom's police forces. What word generally referring to a type of slave or servant, and used figuratively for an ineffectual or powerless man, derives from Greek words meaning bed, and hold, or keep? Eunuch. The term eunuch refers historically to a castrated man, often employed as a chamberlain or servant in royal courts, especially in ancient and medieval societies. The etymology connects to Greek words related to bed guarding. Which is the largest joint in the human body? Knee. The knee is the largest and one of the most complex joints in the human body, connecting the thigh bone, femur, to the shin bone, tibia. It plays a crucial role in movement, supporting body weight, and enabling actions like walking and running. How many separate terms did William Gladstone serve as Prime Minister of Britain? 4. William Gladstone was a dominant figure in Victorian politics, serving as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for 4 non-consecutive terms. A leading Liberal statesman, his premiership saw significant reforms, including electoral reform and changes in Irish policy. How many stars are on the national flag of China? 5. The national flag of the People's Republic of China, known as the 5-star red flag, features a large golden star representing the Communist Party of China, surrounded by 4 smaller golden stars symbolizing the 4 social classes, all set against a red field. Scottish mathematician and scientist John Napier, 1550 to 1617, pioneered the use of what? Logarithms and the decimal point. John Napier, a Scottish mathematician and physicist, is celebrated for his invention of logarithms in the early 17th century. His work significantly simplified complex calculations for astronomers and scientists, revolutionizing numerical computation. Napier also played a crucial role in popularizing the use of the decimal point, enhancing precision in mathematical notation. A miller's thumb is what type of creature? Fish. A miller's thumb is a small, bottom-dwelling freshwater fish belonging to the family Chortidae, characterized by its large, flattened head. The name is believed to originate from its resemblance to the broad, flat thumb of a miller, which was supposedly flattened from repeatedly pushing grain. This fish is often found in clear, fast-flowing streams and rivers across temperate regions. What was Alexander the Great's famous horse, whose Greek name translates to mean ox head? Bucephalus. Bucephalus was the legendary warhorse of Alexander the Great, known for its immense size and untamed spirit that only Alexander could master. Its name, derived from Greek, literally translates to ox head, likely referring to its broad forehead. Bucephalus remained Alexander's companion in numerous battles and campaigns until its death in India. Which spice comes from the rhizome, rootstock, of the plant Zanjibar officinale? Ginger. Ginger is a widely recognized spice derived from the rhizome, or underground stem, of the flowering plant Zanjibar officinale. This plant is native to maritime Southeast Asia and its pungent, aromatic rhizome is extensively used in various cuisines and traditional medicine worldwide. During which month is Republic Day in Italy? June. Republic Day in Italy, known as Festa della Repubblica, is celebrated annually on June 2. This national holiday commemorates the institutional referendum held in 1946, where the Italian populace voted to abolish the monarchy and establish a republic. It is a significant observance, marked by military parades and official ceremonies across the country. From the Greek, pro, meaning before, and gignoskin meaning know, what medical term refers to the predicted course and outcome of an illness, and increasingly to forecasting other complex situations? Prognosis. Prognosis is a medical term derived from Greek roots meaning before, pro, and to know, gignoskin. It refers to the predicted course and outcome of an illness, indicating the likelihood of recovery or the expected progression of the disease. Beyond medicine, the term is increasingly used to forecast the future course of various complex situations. Samite is a type of what? Fabric. Samite is a luxurious and heavy silk fabric, often interwoven with gold or silver threads, known for its rich texture and elaborate patterns. Originating from Byzantium and the Middle East, it was highly prized in medieval Europe for ecclesiastical vestments, royal attire, and diplomatic gifts, signifying wealth and status. In summer 2010, what species produced offspring in the wild in the UK for the first time in around 400 years after reintroduction to Scotland? Beaver. In summer 2010, beaver successfully produced offspring in the wild in the UK for the first time in approximately 400 years, following their reintroduction to Scotland. This landmark event was part of a conservation project aimed at re-establishing the species in its native habitat. Beavers are considered keystone species, playing a vital role in shaping their ecosystems. A caparison is an ornamental cloth used to cover a what? Horse. A caparison is an ornamental covering or housing for a horse, traditionally used for parades, ceremonies, or in battle. These decorative clothes were often elaborately designed with rich fabrics, embroidery, or heraldic devices, serving to display the rider's status or to protect the animal. In which famous building are rooms named Vermeil, China, Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow Oval? The White House. The Vermeil Room, China Room, Red Room, Blue Room, Green Room, and Yellow Oval Room are prominent state rooms located within the White House in Washington, D.C. These rooms are significant for official receptions, ceremonies, and private family functions of the U.S. President, each distinguished by its unique decor and historical significance. In anatomy, plantar relates to which part of the human body? Foot. The term plantar specifically refers to the sole or bottom surface of the foot. It is commonly used in anatomical descriptions and medical terminology, for example, in conditions like plantar fasciitis. A 2010 publicity-driven competition called the Carbuncle Cup focused on unpopular British what? Architecture. The Carbuncle Cup was an annual award presented by Building Design magazine to highlight the worst new building in the United Kingdom. It served as a critical platform to draw attention to poor architectural design and its impact on the urban landscape. Something annular is in the shape of a what? Ring. The term, annular, describes something that is ring-shaped or forms a ring. It is derived from the Latin word, annulus, meaning, ring, and is often used in astronomy, e.g., annular eclipse, anatomy, and engineering. Sfumato is a technique in what? Painting. Sfumato is a painting technique, famously used by Leonardo da Vinci, which involves subtle gradations of light and shade to create a soft, hazy, and seamless transition between colors and tones. This technique eliminates harsh outlines, allowing elements to blend into each other, creating a sense of depth and realism. Evo Morales became president of which country in 2006? Bolivia. Evo Morales served as the 65th president of Bolivia from 2006 to 2019, making him the country's longest-serving president. He was the first indigenous president in Bolivia's history, known for his socialist policies and efforts to empower indigenous populations and nationalize key industries. Which religion emerged from the Bible student movement, founded in 1872 by Charles Taze Russell? Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses originated from the Bible student movement, founded in the late 19th century by Charles Taze Russell. This religious denomination is known for its distinct beliefs, including its interpretation of the Bible, rejection of the Trinity, and active proselytizing work. What is the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai? Artificial island development. The Palm Jumeirah is a prominent artificial archipelago in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, renowned for its distinctive palm tree shape. It serves as a significant example of large-scale land reclamation projects and high-end urban development, featuring luxury residences, hotels, and tourist attractions. A nide is a brood or nest of which type of birds? Pheasants. A nide is a specific collective noun used to refer to a brood or nest of pheasants. Collective nouns provide unique terminology for groups of animals, often reflecting historical usage or specific characteristics of the species. A Munro, of which there are 283, is a Scottish mountain exceeding what height in feet? 3,000 feet. A Munro is a Scottish mountain with a height of over 3,000 feet, 914.4 meters, above sea level. Named after Sir Hugh Munro, who catalogued them in 1891, Munro bagging is a popular hiking challenge among enthusiasts in Scotland. Literally meaning, repentance, in Italian, what is the visible trace of an earlier painting beneath newer artwork on canvas? Pentimento. Pentimento, derived from the Italian word for repentance, refers to the visible traces of an earlier painting or drawing beneath the final layers of paint on a canvas. It often reveals changes made by the artist during the creative process and can become apparent as the upper paint layers thin or become more transparent over time. An anemometer is a gauge used for recording the speed of what? Wind. An anemometer is a standard meteorological instrument specifically designed for measuring wind speed and sometimes direction. It commonly consists of rotating cups or ultrasonic sensors, providing critical data for weather forecasting, climate studies, and aviation. Catalonia, the Spanish autonomous community comprising provinces Barcelona, Girona, Lleida, and Tarragona, banned what in 2010, effective from 2012? Bullfighting. Catalonia, an autonomous community in Spain, enacted a ban on bullfighting in 2010, with the prohibition taking full effect from 2012. This decision reflected evolving public sentiment against animal cruelty and contributed to a broader national debate on the cultural tradition of bullfighting. In the UK in the 1930s, what was named after the Minister of Transport? Belisha beacon. Belisha beacons are distinctive amber-colored flashing globes mounted on poles, used to mark pedestrian crossing in the United Kingdom and Ireland. They were named after Leslie Hoare Belisha, the Minister of Transport who introduced them in 1934 to enhance road safety for pedestrians. Melanophobia is the irrational fear of what? The color black. Melanophobia is defined as the irrational and intense fear of the color black. Like other specific phobias, it can arise from various psychological factors and may manifest in symptoms of anxiety or panic upon encountering the feared color. How many presidents had served France as of 2010? 23. The Fifth Republic of France, established in 1958, is its current republican system. This question refers to the total number of individuals who had held the presidential office across various republics up to 2010, reflecting a historical understanding of French political leadership. How many horsemen of the apocalypse are described in the Bible's book of Revelation? 4. The four horsemen of the apocalypse are symbolic figures described in the book of Revelation in the New Testament. They are conquest, often depicted as pestilence, war, famine, and death, representing divine judgment and the end times. This imagery has significantly influenced Western art, literature, and culture. In the conventional Western musical scale, how many distinct notes are there within an octave, including sharps and flats? 12. A chromatic scale in Western music comprises 12 distinct notes within an octave. These notes include the 7 natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, along with their 5 corresponding sharps or flats, forming the fundamental basis of Western harmony and melody. This structure underpins various musical systems and compositions. As of 2010, how many individuals had walked on the moon? 12. The Apollo program, conducted by NASA from 1961 to 1972, successfully landed humans on the moon. A total of 12 American astronauts achieved lunar surface EVA, extravehicular activity, between 1969 and 1972, making them the only humans to have ever walked on another celestial body. In the imperial system of measurement, how many pounds constitute 1 stone? 14. The stone is a unit of mass in the imperial system, predominantly used in the United Kingdom and Ireland for measuring body weight. 1 stone is equivalent to 14 avoirdupois pounds, illustrating a unique aspect of historical measurement units contrasting with the metric system. What is the street number for the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue? 1600. The White House, the official residence and principal workplace of the President of the United States, is located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue NW in Washington, D.C. This iconic address is synonymous with American political power and serves as a major national and international landmark. From the 1840s to the 1960s, U.S. presidents elected in years divisible by 20 frequently died in office. What was this approximate interval? 20 years. Known as the Tippecanoe curse, or Tecumseh's curse, this historical observation noted that U.S. presidents elected in years ending with a 0 every 20 years, between 1840 and 1960 died in office. Notable figures include William Henry Harrison, 1840, Abraham Lincoln, 1860, and John F. Kennedy, 1960. While superstitious, it's a recognized historical pattern. How many boroughs constitute New York City? 5. New York City is divided into 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island. These boroughs are coextensive with 5 of the state's counties, playing a critical role in the city's governance and identity. How many British monarchs have reigned under the name George? 6. There have been 6 British kings named George. The most recent was George VI, who reigned from 1936 to 1952, a period that included World War II and the initial phase of post-war recovery. Approximately how many staff does the Pentagon, located in Arlington, Virginia, USA, and considered the highest occupancy office building globally, accommodate? 26,000. The Pentagon serves as the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense. With roughly 26,000 military and civilian employees, it is one of the world's largest office buildings by floor area, symbolizing its crucial role in national security. How many basic tastes are generally recognized as detectable by the human tongue? 5. The human tongue is capable of detecting 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. These distinct taste sensations are perceived by specialized taste receptor cells and contribute to our complex perception of food flavors. The archaic English word, twain, refers to which number? 2. Twain is an archaic English word meaning two. It is frequently encountered in older literature and phrases, such as, never the twain shall meet, to denote a pair or duality. The fundamental tenets of the Muslim faith are referred to as the blank pillars of Islam. How many are there? 5. The 5 pillars of Islam are the core practices that Muslims are mandated to observe. They comprise the Shahada, declaration of faith, Salat, prayer, Zakat, charity, Sawm, fasting during Ramadan, and Hajj, pilgrimage to Makkah, forming the framework of Muslim life and devotion. In which year were Concorde aircraft retired from commercial service? 2003. The Concorde, a supersonic passenger jet, ceased commercial operations in 2003. This retirement was primarily due to declining passenger numbers, escalating maintenance costs, and safety concerns following the Air France Flight 4590 crash in 2000, marking the end of supersonic commercial air travel. Wyclef Jean, a pop star, was a potential but unsuccessful 2010 presidential candidate in which country? Haiti. Wyclef Jean, a Haitian-American musician, attempted to run for president of Haiti in 2010 but was deemed ineligible by the Provisional Electoral Council. His candidacy sparked debate regarding Haitian nationality laws and the role of expatriates in national politics. Chennai, the capital of the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, was known by what name until 1996? Madras. Chennai, the capital of Tamil Nadu, India, was officially known as Madras until its name was changed in 1996. The city's history dates back to its founding as Madraspatnam by the British East India Company in the 17th century. Yitzhak Rabin served as the Prime Minister of which country between 1974 and 1977? Israel. Yitzhak Rabin served as the Prime Minister of Israel from 1974 to 1977 and again from 1992 until his assassination in 1995. He was a pivotal figure in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, for which he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The Raines Law of 1896 in New York State related to the sale of what? Liquor. The Raines Law, enacted in New York State in 1896, was a significant piece of legislation regulating the sale of alcoholic beverages. It aimed to curb public drunkenness by making it difficult for saloons to operate on Sundays, a day it permitted liquor sales only in hotels. What was the nickname of the parliamentary supporters during the mid-17th century English Civil War? Roundheads. During the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, the parliamentary forces were known as Roundheads due to their close-cropped hair, in contrast to the longer hair worn by the Royalist cavaliers. They fought against King Charles I, advocating for parliamentary sovereignty. On which part of the body would a tarboosh be worn? Head. A tarboosh, also known as a fez, is a conical, brimless felt cap, typically red, worn by men in various parts of the Middle East, North Africa, and the Balkans. It is an item of traditional headwear with historical and cultural significance in several regions. In which year did Morocco gain its independence from France? 1956. Morocco gained its independence from French protectorate rule on March 2, 1956, marking a significant moment in its modern history. This event followed years of nationalist struggle and diplomatic negotiations, leading to the restoration of full sovereignty under Sultan Muhammad V. The English town name suffix, which, as in Nantwich and Northwich, derives from the mining of what mineral? Salt. The suffix, which, in English place names, particularly prominent in towns like Nantwich, Northwich, and Droitwich, is historically associated with salt mining or brine springs. These locations were significant centers for salt production in England for centuries. Which animal secretes castor, or castoreum, an oily substance historically used in medicine and perfume? Beaver. Castoreum is a pungent, oily secretion from the castor sacs of beavers, historically valued for its medicinal properties and as a fragrance fixative. Its complex chemical composition, including compounds like salicylic acid and isovaleriophenone, contributes to its unique scent and applications. Which U.S. president greeted astronauts Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin upon their return from the moon? Richard Nixon. President Richard Nixon personally greeted the Apollo 11 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin, aboard the USS Hornet following their successful lunar mission in July 1969. This event marked a pivotal moment in human exploration and a significant achievement for the United States. In which European country is Lake Balaton located? Hungary. Lake Balaton is the largest freshwater lake in Central Europe, located in Hungary. It is a major tourist destination, often referred to as the Hungarian Sea, and plays a significant role in the country's economy and recreation. Bruxism is the medical term for the involuntary habitual grinding of which body part? Teeth. Bruxism refers to the involuntary clenching or grinding of teeth, which can occur during sleep, sleep bruxism, or while awake, awake bruxism. It can lead to dental damage, jaw disorders, headaches, and other related issues. Sapphire is the birthstone associated with which month of the year? September. Sapphire is a precious gemstone, a variety of the mineral corundum, known for its deep blue color. It is traditionally designated as the birthstone for the month of September, symbolizing wisdom, loyalty, and nobility. What is the full form of UCAS, the organization responsible for managing student applications for UK degree courses? Universities and Colleges Admissions Service. UCAS stands for the Universities and Colleges Admissions Service, a centralized organization that processes applications for undergraduate courses at UK universities and colleges. It plays a crucial role in the British higher education system by streamlining the application process for millions of students annually. Which battle in 1876 involved the Sioux Indians massacring George Custer's 7th Cavalry Regiment? Battle of the Little Bighorn. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand, occurred on June 25–26, 1876, in Montana Territory. It was a decisive victory for the Lakota Sioux, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes against the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry Regiment, led by Lieutenant Colonel George Custer, resulting in the complete annihilation of Custer's battalion. The Folketing is the parliament of which European country? Denmark. The Folketing is the national parliament of Denmark, a unicameral legislative body responsible for passing laws and overseeing the government. It is situated in Christiansborg Palace in Copenhagen. The eldest son of Queen Victoria became which king? Edward VII. Edward VII, born Albert Edward, was the eldest son of Queen Victoria and reigned as King of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions from 1901 to 1910. His reign, known as the Edwardian era, saw significant social and technological changes before World War I. Which common material was invented by Mark Chawans and Alfred Fielding in 1957 initially as textured wallpaper? Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap, invented by Mark Chawans and Alfred Fielding in 1957, was initially conceived as a three-dimensional plastic wallpaper. Its primary use quickly shifted to packaging material, where its air-filled pockets provide excellent cushioning for fragile items. What is half a sphere called? Hemisphere. A hemisphere is geometrically defined as half of a sphere, divided by a plane passing through its center. In geography, the Earth is commonly divided into northern and southern hemispheres by the equator, and eastern and western hemispheres by the prime meridian. In ancient Greek legend, soldier Pheidippes collapsed and died after running over 25 miles to Athens to give news of which battle? Marathon. The legendary run of Pheidippes, a messenger, from the Battle of Marathon to Athens in 490 BC is said to have inspired the modern marathon race. He ran approximately 25 miles to announce the Greek victory over the Persians before collapsing and dying. Named by writer Jerry B. Harvey after a West Texas city and metropolitan area, a group decision that no individual in the group wants is described as the, what? Paradox? Abilene paradox. The Abilene paradox describes a situation where a group of people collectively decides on a course of action that is contrary to the preferences of any individual in the group. This often occurs due to a perceived inability to manage agreement or a fear of ostracism, leading to a collective misperception. Which version of the Microsoft Windows operating system succeeded Windows Vista? Windows 7. Windows 7 was released by Microsoft in October 2009, following Windows Vista. It was praised for its improved performance, user interface, and overall stability compared to its predecessor, becoming one of Microsoft's most popular operating systems. What is the average duration of the human menstrual cycle in days? 28 days. The average human menstrual cycle is approximately 28 days, though it can vary between 21 to 35 days among individuals. This complex biological process involves hormonal changes that prepare the uterus for a potential pregnancy and culminates in menstruation if pregnancy does not occur. How many lines are traditionally found in a sonnet? 14. A sonnet is a poetic form that originated in Italy, traditionally comprising 14 lines written in iambic pentameter. It typically employs one of several rhyming schemes and adheres to a tightly structured thematic development, often exploring themes of love, beauty, or mortality. Which integer is followed by 0.14159 to represent the mathematical constant pi, used for calculating the circumference and area of a circle? 3. Pi is a fundamental mathematical constant representing the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, approximately 3.14159. It is an irrational number, meaning its decimal representation is infinite and non-repeating, and is crucial in geometry, trigonometry, and various fields of physics and engineering. How many American presidents have been assassinated while in office? 4. 4 U.S. presidents have been assassinated while in office. Abraham Lincoln, 1865, James A. Garfield, 1881, William McKinley, 1901, and John F. Kennedy, 1963. These events are significant moments in American history, often leading to changes in security protocols and political discourse. What is the traditional Chinese method of counting on one hand, up to a specific number, by using the thumb to touch the tip and 3 joints of each finger? 16. This method, rooted in ancient Chinese culture, allows for counting up to 16 using a single hand by systematically touching various parts of the fingers with the thumb. It demonstrates an ingenious traditional approach to numerical representation. What was the average age of a U.S. combat soldier in the Vietnam War? 19. The average age of a U.S. combat soldier during the Vietnam War was notably low, at 19 years old. This demographic detail is crucial for understanding the social impact of the war and the burden placed on younger generations. What was the numerical designation of the Boeing Superfortress aircraft that dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945? B-29. The Boeing B-29 Superfortress was the long-range heavy bomber pivotal in the final stages of World War II. It is historically significant for being the aircraft type that delivered the atomic bombs to Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, events that led to Japan's surrender and marked the beginning of the nuclear age. How many basic parts comprise the Chinese Taijitu symbol, which is related to Taoist philosophy and popular interpretations of yin and yang? 2. The Chinese Taijitu symbol, commonly recognized as the yin and yang symbol, consists of 2 fundamental parts. These represent the dualistic yet complementary forces of yin and yang, central to Taoist philosophy, illustrating balance and interconnectedness in the universe. What is the numerical designation of the British orbital motorway that includes the Dartford crossing? M25. The M25 is a major orbital motorway circling Greater London, making it a critical part of the UK's transport infrastructure. The Dartford crossing, a key river crossing over the River Thames, forms an integral section of this motorway, facilitating traffic flow around the capital. Cyrenaica, a region historically held by the ancient Phoenicians, Greeks, and Romans, is located in which African country? Libya. Cyrenaica is an ancient historical region of eastern Libya, strategically located on the Mediterranean coast. Its importance led to successive control by powerful ancient civilizations like the Phoenicians, Greeks, who founded cities like Cyrene, and Romans, each leaving a significant cultural and architectural legacy. Which line of the London Underground system provides direct service to Heathrow Airport? Piccadilly Line. The Piccadilly Line is a major deep-level line of the London Underground, recognized for its direct connection to Heathrow Airport. This link provides essential public transport for air travelers, connecting the airport efficiently with central London and other parts of the capital's extensive rail network. Gametophobia is the irrational fear of what? Marriage. Gametophobia is an anxiety disorder characterized by an intense and irrational fear of marriage, commitment, or forming a lasting romantic relationship. Like other specific phobias, it can significantly impact an individual's personal life and relationships, often requiring therapeutic intervention. The term, bleak, refers to which type of creature, with known species such as the common bleak, Danube bleak, and Italian bleak? Options: bird, fish, crab, or whale. Fish. A bleak is a freshwater fish belonging to the carp family, Cyprinidae, scientifically known as Albanus albanus. These small, silvery fish are commonly found in rivers and lakes across Europe and are often utilized as bait fish or for human consumption in various regions. Which renowned composer died on the 5th of December 1791, at the age of 35? Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, one of the most influential composers of the classical era, died prematurely on December 5, 1791, in Vienna. His death at the young age of 35, possibly from rheumatic fever, concluded a prolific career that yielded over 600 works, including operas, symphonies, and concertos. A. Mooli is a type of which common vegetable? Radish. Mooli is the Japanese term for daikon radish, a widely consumed root vegetable in East Asian cuisine. It is distinguished by its long, white, and crisp flesh, and is frequently used in salads, pickles, and stir-fries for its distinctive mild, peppery flavor. According to a 2010 UK survey by the Campaign for Better Transport, which city was identified as the most car-dependent? Milton Keynes. A 2010 UK survey by the Campaign for Better Transport pinpointed Milton Keynes as the most car-dependent city, largely due to its urban planning. The city's design, characterized by extensive road networks and a lower emphasis on public transport, reflects a post-war planning philosophy prioritizing private vehicle use. What is the musical term indicating that a piece of music should be repeated from the beginning? Da capo. Da capo, often abbreviated as DC, is an Italian musical term that translates to from the head or from the beginning. In musical notation, it instructs the performer to return to the very start of the piece and play it again, typically until a fine end or a specific ending indicated by a coda. Barley is which type of crop? Tobacco. Barley is a type of light air-cured tobacco, primarily used for cigarette production. It is one of the two most common types of tobacco, known for its distinct flavor and aroma profile developed through its specific curing process. The Rockall Trough is in which ocean? Atlantic. The Rockall Trough is a deep-water oceanographic feature located in the North Atlantic Ocean, west of Ireland and Scotland. It plays a crucial role in ocean circulation patterns and is a significant area for marine biodiversity studies due to its unique abyssal plain environment. In June 1937, which U.S. state became the first, and only, to celebrate Flag Day as a state holiday? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania holds the distinction of being the first and only U.S. state to officially celebrate Flag Day as a state holiday, beginning in June 1937. Flag Day commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States on June 14, 1777, by resolution of the Second Continental Congress. Which European leader publicly welcomed a new female MP to Parliament by reminding her of a rule called jus primi noctis, law of the first night, a medieval right of the lord of the manor to deflower new brides? Silvio Berlusconi. Silvio Berlusconi, the former Prime Minister of Italy, controversially referenced jus primi noctis, a medieval feudal right, when publicly addressing a new female member of parliament. This statement sparked significant public debate and criticism, highlighting the contentious nature of his political rhetoric. If something is basiliform, what shape is it? Rod-shaped. The term basiliform is primarily used in microbiology to describe bacteria or other microorganisms that are rod-shaped. Bacilli constitute a major morphological category of bacteria, distinguished from spherical cocci and spiral spirilla.